Yeah, I think the Esmeralda is a pretty solid choice.
I'm even thinking of something like an Arlet.
Yeah, I think the Arlet is the best choice right now. Just because if you go for the Esmeralda, it's already kind of countered by the carry. If you go for the Arlet, you really can destroy that front to back that Zone want to go for. But also, in a way, I just don't really like the carry pick here. It's okay against the Claude, but up against the Eve, you get zoned so hard. Just with the RWM, I don't really think you're going to be able to look for the fights. Arlet coming up, as we called, with the Khalid as well. So, hey, if we're expecting the Eve to bully the Juice in now, double it and give it to Aurora.
And this is also more of a signature pick, I would say, for Light too. You know, the Khalid, especially if he gets a lead, then he is quite aggressive. Now, this whole lineup from Aurora is such a control lineup. You know, you're going to have complete control over objectives for the most part, unless something goes terribly wrong. And also at the same time, you give plenty of time for you know, your Klon to build up here for Dome and Kite, and that's exactly what needs to happen here to have that success in hitting that power spike under that 10-minute mark and being able to turn the tides. This is interesting though. They'll actually go and pick up the Leomord. Now, Leomord, he's at what, 33% win rate.
Where they can fight all day. Now we gotta see if Team Zone, they can deal with that.
Let's see. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, folks, for match number 3 of Swiss Stage M7, day number 3.
Welcome to Mobile
And it's going to be Impure Rage for Fredrin, for Demon Kite here.
Yeah, I you know, part of this as well, when you look at early rotation potential, I would say, you know, for the most part, you're going to expect Demon Kite to, if he can get an advantage in the jungle, start to be aggressive towards the lineup from Team Zone. That's what you're allowed to do with Light on this Khalid. Usually quite aggressive, right? Does have a Revitalize still. Okay, there you go.
But that's a huge loss because Bright got a minion. Kenny does not get that minion. Kenny's going to get level 2 slower. Bright gets level 2 first. And that kind of, you know, makes the whole interaction of the roam boots kind of awkward.
Yeah, for Zone, they're so good. We've seen them again against Boostgate yesterday as well. But when they get derailed, it gets really, really tough for them. They play it safe, but again, RORA know how to punish every little mistake, and that's what we're seeing from Zone. Walking up with a Gata Kacha and a Juicin against a Khalid and Yves is a mistake. Edward also making a slight mistake there, going under turret, taking a beating from the turret.
Yeah, probably guessing like going up against a Lapu Lapu, you don't have to be that scared of going too aggressive. You can't fight back until level 4.
Yeah, not only that, but again, is Edward, how many times have we actually seen the XP R-Lot so far?
Not a lot.
I feel like he's just kind of...
R-Little.
Yeah, R-Little. I like that. That was good. You know? But I feel like, in essence, he's still... The utility that an R-Lot brings is still obviously really good. In usually around the objectives, or even just to go ahead and start up fights, it takes away some of that pressure from Light, and usually that's where those... Whoa, okay. MC throw it on out right as the turtle comes up.
Well, they better get the turtle now.
What? That's true. But okay, mid lane as well, Kenny.
Oh my god. Okay. A whole lot. Whoa, Kenny, okay. This is just an opening.
Yeah. This should be all Aurora, no?
Yeah, there's no way without the Phantom Steed that they go for this. Xora really should just back away.
They're still planning around here, but yeah, they're just going to be zoned out now. That's objective. Going to Demon Kite. Just very awkward usage of timing and on the ultimates.
Actually, I think what they're thinking of is that we should not fight. So instead of going for a turtle, we go for something else.
Wait a second. That's all right. Bankai walking up. Raven's Fighter coming down. Demon Kai going to be taken very low, but he's still able to pop in the Razors right in time. Xora with the Phantom Steed takes it away. Killing spree, saving him. Goes back into the healing, but Yu is right there to get him with light. And no way! Kenny in the mid lane gets caught by the Vengeance.
There you go. So that is a secure there for Aurora Gaming Philippines. They knew that if we want to force a fight there, that's going to be fine. And then just make it work. So with that, they get themselves a little bit of a lead to build up into, and you know, that's tough for Team Zone. Taking a look here, once again, Realme 15 Pro 5G, the M7 official gaming phone. And this kind of lead this early on, this is where Aurora Gaming Philippines shines. So we've seen this and talked about it many times. The early game usually is what they're able to control, and they don't let up when they have it.
Just a bit of poke.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Aurora Gaming definitely has the better draft in terms of execution, countering certain heroes. It makes it so that I don't know what Team Zone is supposed to target on here. Bankai even forced to use his flicker. Like, what avenues should Team Zone really look for so that they have a fighting chance. Because I feel like if they fight now, they don't have a chance.
Yeah, that's really tough, man. Again, I'm not even sure if Bankai needed to use that flicker there. And the avenues that they can go for is just having a better time. Wow, okay. Again, I still have to say it's a whole lot here. Oh.
Raging Sandstorm lands as well. Kenny locked down completely by Demon Kite. Phantom Steed now over on light, but he gets shoved back while he was really trying to go for the heals. Demon Kite tried to provide a bit more peel there. Sixora turning things around, jumping on. Now the AOG as well. Able to get the squash down for another kill to Team Zone.
Oh, here comes Edward.
Yeah, Edward is there, gets onto Zixora.
Good stun on Bright. He's still able to sustain for a bit longer. Final Slash coming down as well now. And that's a Lantern Flare. Can he go for the pickup on Edward? A Vengeance coming down now as Zixora does a little bit more damage. Good stun. Edward gets out with the last Vengeance.
I gotta say, Zixora actually is looking pretty good on his Neomorn, considering that during the wildcard, it said it's been over a year. He hasn't been using it. Looks like he's been spamming it for a while.
Oh, okay, they're gonna get locked down.
Final Slash, Phantom Steed coming down, doesn't really matter. Edward again on a playmaker, on a carry. Is there Raging Sandstorm from Lights? And it's a triple for Edward. He finally gets caught by Bright, but it's worth it. A shutdown going to the pockets of AURORA.
My God, Edward. That's why we were talking about him after yesterday's performance, and then even now here in this game against Team Zone. 6-1-2 on the R-Lock.
I mean, like, there's no way to stop him, right? That's the biggest problem. Kenny's not having a good time. Bright is having an okay time, but again, like, as a setup, it doesn't matter if you have a good time or not. It really is on your damage dealers, and even Zixora is struggling to get farm, and then eventually K will struggle as well.
What do you do here, you know, with in that matchup? Oh no, top lane.
Trying to clear K, AOG, but it's too late, and Domenkite just shreds him down with a Blazing Duet as the two tanky boys tank up the turrets. Zixora almost missed out on the Ducati. Now walks up, did he find the angle? Flicker in from Kenny! Oh man!
That's the desperation. Like, you know that they have to get something, and I really feel like Zixora is the one telling the team, we need to get something. You guys can give me some kills. Looking at items, he does have that Hunter Strike, so it makes it much easier to get the opponents low. But again, the finishing power is there, but you're not stopping anyone. And I feel like that's what Zixora is looking for. Kenny and Bright is having a difficult time here just to make sure that Aurora Gaming sticks in place, especially this Arlen.
That's why I said, man, it's just these weird timings from some of the ultimates and battle spells even from Team Zone. You can see even with that lead that Edward got, you know, he's basically just got that Fury Hammer, then he went Oracles, he's got the Black Eyes too. So that all is enough to pretty much make him a threat, but also durable enough. Whoa, Domenkite.
This might be a solo kill. Bankai taking very low. Domenkite going on, and they get the shield in time. And Kenny provides the backup necessary.
Yeah, but that's kind of scary when the quad at 7 minutes wants to 1v1 the Lapu and almost winning. Yeah. Bro, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, he just got his golden staff too, so right on target for that Trinity when he gets it. Oh no, this is trouble.
Yes, Flicker. A good flicker out of the Raging Sandstorm now, but he gets stunned up there by Edward. It's still K surviving against two. Almost doing enough to take Edward down. Domenkite gets lifted up by Crimson Beacon and now gets all in. Zixora takes him out. Good pickup by Kenny.
They're rotating up here though. They're going to join the fight. They're going to force him off the turtle.
A stun with Final Slash lands, brings him into the RWM now as Kenny gets chain CC down. Zixora doing a little bit more damage, but won't be able to find that skill 1 down on him as Bright AOG's out of there.
You know what? Honestly, looking at how the game has been playing out, there is a chance for Team Zone here because Zixora as well as K, they are farming up. If you look at a KDA, it doesn't look like a good game, but they understand that as long as they get some kind of farm, eventually things will be fine.
Yeah. That's leaning towards the carry like we've seen, but yeah, statistically the matchup is in that favor. But DHS now picked up the pressure on this purple buff. Zixora will go ahead and grab it though. It seems like he's going to be just fine. A good turret push up top from Bankai. So with that, it's more so of Team Zone finding what they can across the map. They know they've got some distance to cover here and some grounds to cover in terms of catching up, but it's not too big of a deficit. I mean, the biggest one was Edward, as UA takes some damage here from Bankai. He's going to have to go reset.
the fact that Zixora and K, they're not losing by a lot is quite impressive. K only losing by about 700 gold. It's still manageable because it does mean that they'll finish the Trinity at roughly the same time here.
Yep.
And eventually K will become a big problem unless Light or Edward is able to get onto him.
Okay. So with that, we're looking at the next objective at this point in under a minute with all 3 turtles going into the hands of Aurora Gaming. This is kind of what we've highlighted with their run through the Swiss stage so far. You know, they've had relatively good control in this portion of the game. They just can't let it slip out of their hands. You know, they've had this bit of a lead. They've got majority of control around the objectives. They might go set up on Bright here.
Oh, Kumar.
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they go all in on Bright, I really don't think it's worth it. And so they don't. They just look for a little bit more poke as Bankai rotates over mid.
Yeah. So right now for Aurora Gaming, being 2,500-ish doesn't feel like a lot. The main threat right now is definitely Dominkite. So I feel like Team Zone, the moment they see that his Purify is out, he's going to be the main target. And if they're able to deal with Dominkite, I feel like they're in a relatively good space because it does seem that Sora can deal quite a lot of burst damage on both Dominkite as well as Yue. And if they have not been fighting against a lot of Leomorns, they might not be able to be prepared for that.
Look at this zone, though.
He's still farming up top. Bankai finally goes in. That's going to be the final slash lock and Zixora down, but he finds the Phantom Steed now as a Crimson Beacon goes in. That's a stun over from Bankai. Now goes in with the Bravest Fighter again on towards the rest. Right, with a good taunt coming down. And Precious Wrath! Oh my damage! The AOG out of there. Demon Kite getting away. Trying to look for the taunt. Yue constantly with the Void Blast. Bright ticking down, but he survives somehow as K gets it straight to the mid lane. And now it's Light with the heals back up.
Yeah, even getting a Trinity.
Yeah. And you at least get something. Yes, Lord is going to go over to Aurora Gaming, but, you know, still, you look at that fight, it could have gone either way. Zixora was just zoned out enough from even Edward sticking onto him that, you know, and they tried to juggle around that Lord fight, but it was just unfortunate that Team Zone couldn't get the positioning they were looking for, and so they just go and get a turret. This is going to be the tier 2 that falls now on that bottom side as the Lord makes its way down that mid lane.
Yeah, I feel like Bankai needs to get the Chastise Pauldron as well to deal with Dominkite. And Zixora is, I feel like, just a few gold away from that endless battle and start becoming a real threat against Aurora.
Eyes on Edward. He definitely is looking for a set. K's not going to give him the opportunity. Bright still holding the mid lane as the Holy Shield in the bottom lane should be procced in. They get rid of the mid lane Lord, actually, and they keep the base turret Holy Shield alive.
Yeah, they'll keep it together. Again, even with this lead, it's with Team Zone's lineup, it's not too much to deal with. Whoa, the jump in from Bankai.
An attempt, even with the Phantom Steed. They're using a lot. Edward, again, looking for the set. You always got to put your eyes on Edward when he has Flicker up.
Yeah. I feel like, in a way, that's kind of good because they did push Yue off, making it so that Aurora Gaming cannot apply pressure onto the mid lane, and Team Zone were not punished for that one. So I feel like, considering that fighters generally do have lower cooldowns anyways, I feel like that was worth it, right? At least you protect your base.
Yep.
That's really what matters.
You protect it long enough and as many times as you can until he gets to where he needs to be on this carry. He's starting to get there. I mean, the damage, okay, again. And the Steed.
Bankai gonna go back in with Bravest Fighter now. RWM locking them down, and look at that! That's gonna be him getting out. Zixora caught in the bad spot. Still, whoa! What a knock up there from Kenny! K with a flicker! K!
Oh my god!
Now an AOT! And K gets a double before he ultimately goes down.
You know what? That was cool. K made the hero play, and Bright comes in, giving him enough time to actually get Dominkite. And even though K died there, but the main pushers, Yue and Dominkite is not there, making it so that Aurora, they're in a standstill.
Oh, and Edward has to flicker defensively.
I'd say all that was worth, basically. Yeah. I mean, Team Zone needed to make something happen, and they do just that. They will actually get a good push up top, too. Getting that tier 2, it looks like it's going to fall here. Good work from Zixora. Now, kind of opening up the map a little bit before this Lord comes up in 30 seconds. So again, Aurora Gaming, you know, they're going to find themselves in a very precarious situation for this Lord take. Let's take a look at the instant replay here, though, for this one. Again, a lot happened in this team fight.
Yeah, we got to look at the initial engage. Zexora was actually taken quite low, making it so that he has to back down. But look at K's positioning here. He was basically ignored for a while, got a lot of space, and then instead of going back towards his team where Light was waiting, he went forward because he knew that he had enough damage for Yue as well as Dominkite. As of now, K is doing his very best to bring back the honor, the glory, the reputation that the carry deserves.
Hey, he might be beating the odds here right now in that matchup. The Claude and the carry. Again, earlier today it was 5-1 favoring the Claude. They're going to go here for that fight around the Lord.
Final slash from Edward. Now Zexora zone in the back line, gets caught with the real world inflation, and now it's going to be the shred coming down as K is still in the midst of it all, dealing a lot of damage. And now the blazing duet from Dominic comes in, but he gets stunned up and he's forced to use the Purify. Zexora runs away, gets the dash, but it's unable to save him now. It's a 2 for 2. That's Crimson Beacon backwards. Bright with the AOG gets out of there.
Honestly, that would have been better if K stayed alive, because it does seem like they're doing a double prong attack where Zexora attacks the damage dealers, allowing K to deal with the front line. It was unfortunate that Zexora really had a very bad time, unable to do enough damage to either Yue or Dominkite, and he tried to run away, but again, it's just not enough.
Not enough. Lord's going to be secured here for Aurora Gaming off of that fight. So now Team Zone once again on the defense. We saw some of the holy defenses go down earlier on, and now they'll have to rely on this lineup to make it happen. I think they have that potential. It's just down to that positioning, especially on the defense here. We're going to take a look at the items. You can see K's got his Malefic Gun. He's going to be building into that Wind of Nature. I think that's going to be crucial for him to deal with this. You've got a Wind of Nature already for Dominkite as well. And then over on top, I mean, like you mentioned, this is the potential to just force a fight into the base because you have Edward on the R-Lot. One of those heroes that can just kind of take surprise on even a base defense. They got to make sure they're not all clumped up. Malefic Gun now picked up for Dominkite as well. So Immortality's in play here for a couple of the members of Aurora Gaming as they walk in with this Lord down this mid lane.
Lord charging in, able to get the base turret down in the mid lane now. Looking for the bottom lane. K sent down below. Chastised Pauldron picked up by Bankai. Should help him against Dominkite and the Wind of Nature as well for K.
Yeah, so right now for Team Zone, around 15 minutes here, I believe K already has 4 items. So it's really just about the execution, because Zexora is a threat, but he's not getting the positioning that he really wants.
Dominkite's damaged even with that. Chastised Pauldron takes him a half. They're going to go for the turret.
Yep. Really nice real world manipulation there. Zones them away from the base turret. Now they have to save this top lane because that's the only one they have left.
Yeah. Although, what are the chances here that Team Zone can turn things around? Because I feel like Zexora just needs a good combo with the Phantom Steed, because I feel like alt, second skill, first skill, that would do enough damage to both Yue as well as Dominkite. Even if they don't die, it makes it so that they're scared, you know? And at that point, K can clean up.
Yeah, it's a lot of this okay, actually, using that, but I don't think they're going to force a fight. It's a little bit... Oh, whoa, Edward.
Yes, Reba Spider is going to be sunlocked completely there. Bankai still able to flick around. The Revitalize saves him. K almost taking Dominkite down there. Luckily for Doming, he had a BMI.
I mean, I was going to say, I don't think they're going to force a fight, but anyway, they go for it.
That's why they do it.
They do it, yeah. There was a lot of battle spells used up there, but still they have plenty of time to go ahead and reset by the time that Lord comes up. Unless Team Zone somehow, some way finds a potential pick-off to get the numbers advantage against Aurora Gaming Philippines, it's going to come down to the execution. And like you were mentioning, you know, what's the possibility, what's the potential for Team Zone to turn things around? Well, it could be off of plays like that, if they can actually make it work. But also, more than ever, here comes a Conceal.
Oh, two-man taunt. Good disengage. Xora now looking for the Phantom Steed. Gets caught. Oh my goodness. Xora is going to be gunned down completely by Dominkite. Re-engage impossible because the real world manipulation stops them in their tracks. They got the jungler down right as the Lord spawns.
I'm going to apologize for saying the truth, but Edward is too annoying, man.
Yep.
Like, Xora had actually a pretty good angle to go in, and then Edward's like, nope, nope. Like, that's my friend. What do you want to do with my friend? Nothing. That's what you're going to do.
That's why I said, you know, Edward is just one of those players. There's a reason why he has so many titles, and then Mr. Consistent especially. he's one of the players, like I said, you don't bring up the R-Lot that much. There's not many teams that will go for it and make it work to this amount of success within this game. And even towards the late game where, you know, you think if it's mostly going to be the final slashes, well, sometimes alone it's just, you know, stopping people in their tracks and being a threat or annoyance in itself. Like, you usually think that about the Uranus.
Yeah.
Well, you can ban it out. I'll still do the same thing, even with an R-Lot.
At this point, I'm pretty sure Team Zone is like, man, I wish he was just using a Uranus, right? Because the thing that Edward does is that he makes you look bad.
Yeah.
And it's not the truth. Zexora actually is doing quite a good job. He's doing what he is supposed to do. It's just that Edward doesn't allow him to do that. Edward makes it look like a mistake all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, Lords made its way up to the base now. We'll see if Team Zone can hold on. That last base turret's going to go down here, up on that top side. How do they defend?
Oh,
no.
my goodness! Xora gets out just barely. Bunkai now with the Brave Spider. Oh! Final slash! The Raging Sandstorm lands on K! He's still able to flicker out now. There's a lot of damage over. The Brazos Wrath doesn't land. K is still able to go and tread through the front line. Light's gonna lose the immortalities. Bunkai's able to go back. UA with the flicker in. Getting the Void Blast in. The minions, can they clear it up? That's a big one with the Lord. And the answer will be they cannot. Aurora Gaming Philippines move on to 2-1.